During my birthday dinner, my mother-in-law leaned across the table and hissed, "Enjoy it while you can, sweetheart. He always comes back to mommy." I thought she was joking until she slid a set of divorce papers across my plate and whispered, "Sign it now. Save yourself the embarrassment later." I looked around, hoping someone would defend me, but my husband just sat there, staring at his phone. I turned 34 last week, and I thought things were finally going okay. Nothing fancy, just a family dinner at La Tavola in Dayton, Ohio. I liked that place. Small, quiet, dim lighting, good lasagna. I asked Tyler if he could set something up.
Just our immediate family.
I figured I deserved one night of peace. Tyler said sure. He seemed distracted when I brought it up, but he agreed. That night, I wore the green dress he once told me was his favorite. I hadn't worn it in a while because, honestly, we hadn't gone anywhere nice in months. Tyler had been cold lately. Distant. I chalked it up to work stress. He worked long hours at his father's HVAC company, the one Dolores still managed unofficially, even after she retired. We got to the restaurant at 6:30. My sister Carla and her husband Joe were already there. They smiled, hugged me, and handed me a little gift bag. Carla even made a dumb joke about turning 34 being the new 24. It helped. For a moment, Tyler sat next to me. Dolores plopped herself on my other side. She was wearing one of those shawls she always wears, like she thinks she's some kind of regal Southern matriarch. Her voice always had this slow, sugar-coated venom, like she was smiling through every insult. The waiter took our orders. I asked for the usual. Tyler ordered a steak, medium rare. Dolores asked the poor guy if the pasta was sourced locally and rolled her eyes at the answer. Dinner dragged. I tried to keep a smile on my face, but Tyler barely looked up from his phone the whole time. At one point, I asked if he was waiting on a work email. "No, just checking something," he said, not even making eye contact. Dolores sipped wine like it was her job. Carla kept giving me this worried look like she knew something was off. When dessert came out, they brought a little cake with a sparkler in it. Everyone sang. Tyler didn't. He was still scrolling. I leaned closer and whispered, "You're not even going to sing?" He didn't answer.
Just kept tapping.
Then Dolores leaned in, right up close to my ear. I felt her breath on my neck. "Enjoy it while you can, sweetheart," she whispered. "He always comes back to mommy." I flinched and turned my head. I thought she was trying to make some dumb joke. I forced a laugh, but then she reached into her oversized purse and pulled out a manila envelope.
Thick.
It made a soft thud when she slid it across my plate, right on top of my birthday cake. I stared at it, confused. "What is this?" I asked quietly. She looked at me with that fake little smile. "Go ahead. Open it." I looked at Tyler. He didn't even glance up. He was right there, and still, I felt completely alone. I pulled the flap open. Divorce papers. Already filled out. His name signed. His address listed as temporarily moved. I looked at the date. A week ago. My hands started to shake. I looked around the table. Carla looked horrified. Joe looked like he wanted to melt into a seat. Dolores leaned in again, voice like a snake. "Sign it now. Save yourself the embarrassment later." I could barely speak. "Tyler?" I asked. "Nothing." He just said, "Let's not do this here," still staring at his phone like he wasn't watching my whole world explode. Dolores took another sip of wine and smirked. That moment right there changed everything. I didn't cry. I didn't yell. I didn't run. I just sat there and realized something deep down. I'd been replaced. Erased. And no one even had the guts to tell me. But that wasn't the end. Not by a long shot. I didn't sign the papers. I didn't say anything at all. I picked up the envelope, wiped the frosting off it, and set it gently back in front of Dolores. Then I folded my napkin, stood up, and walked out of that restaurant without looking back. Carla followed me to the parking lot. She kept asking what the hell just happened in there, but I couldn't speak. My brain was frozen. Not from shock. From clarity. From something deeper than anger. I wasn't going to scream or break things. That's not how I work. I went home to the house Tyler and I had shared for 8 years. We bought it together. We painted every room ourselves. We built a life in that place. And now I knew it was all a joke. I noticed his closet was already half empty. He hadn't told me he moved out. He hadn't said a word. And Dolores?
She knew the whole time.
Probably planned it.
I didn't sleep that night.
I sat on the couch in the dark, staring at the hallway where we used to hang photos. They were gone now. Just empty hooks and dust outlines. I didn't even notice when he took them down. The next morning, I called his office. The receptionist told me he was out on site and wouldn't be back for a few days. But I could hear her tone. She knew. Everyone probably knew. I didn't tell anyone yet. Not even Carla. I needed time. 2 days later, I got a message on Facebook from a woman named Marcy. I didn't recognize her name, but we had mutual friends from high school. Her message was short. Hey, I don't know if this is your business, but I thought you should know your husband has been at his mom's house every night with a woman named Shayna. I live across the street. They're not hiding it.
I'm sorry.
I stared at my phone for 5 minutes straight.
Shayna.
That name hit me like a punch in the stomach. She used to work for Tyler's dad. She got fired for some HR drama last year. There were rumors she and Tyler were friendly, but he always said it was office gossip. I believed him. Now I didn't know what to believe. I messaged Marcy back. Can you get a picture? She replied 2 minutes later with a blurry photo. Tyler. Shirtless. Sitting on the porch of Dolores's house with a woman in his lap.
Shayna.
Laughing like she'd won. He wasn't hiding it. Not from anyone. And Dolores? She was sitting right next to them, sipping her wine and smiling. She wasn't just supporting him. She was celebrating. That was when I decided I wasn't going to just walk away. They wanted quiet. They were getting noise. I didn't tell Tyler I knew. I didn't even call him. He made it clear he didn't want to talk.
Fine.
That worked better for me. Instead, I started collecting things. Not revenge stuff. Not yet. I gathered every receipt, every email, every document with both our names on it. The mortgage, the credit card accounts, the cars, the joint savings. Tyler was sloppy. He never thought I'd look at the bank statements. But I did. That's when I saw it. A $3,200 withdrawal.
Cash.
Marked as ATM, Englewood. Englewood was 25 minutes away. We never go there. A few days later, another $4,500. This time from a different bank account I didn't even know he had. It was linked to his dad's old company account. I found out through some forgotten paperwork he left behind. He wasn't just cheating. He was funneling money. I needed proof. So I called in a favor. My old college roommate, Tara, worked for a private investigations firm in Cincinnati. I hadn't talked to her in years, but when I told her what was going on, she drove up that weekend with 2 burner phones and a camera with a long lens. She didn't ask questions, just listened and nodded. Then she followed them. Within a week, I had over 100 photos. Tyler and Shayna at Dolores's house, at a hotel in Columbus, at a business lunch that involved 0 paperwork and a lot of touching under the table. I also had screenshots of shady Venmo transfers from Tyler to Shayna with stupid emojis like eggplant sweat droplets and catface. Tara also found something else. Tyler and Shayna weren't just hooking up. They were setting up a business. A private HVAC company, under Tyler's name only. They registered the LLC 2 months before our dinner. Guess where the business address was? Dolores's house. They weren't just pushing me out of a marriage. They were cutting me out of the business too. That's when I remembered something. The HVAC company had been started with money from my inheritance. After my dad died, I used $35,000 to help Tyler and his dad get the business off the ground. I never asked for anything in writing because I trusted them, and they took everything. But here's the part that really got me. Dolores' name was listed as the silent partner on the new LLC. She planned this. She helped him move out. She knew Shayna was living there. She watched me get blindsided in public and still sipped her wine like it was a show. I was done being quiet. I wasn't just going to ruin them. I was going to take back everything they tried to erase. First thing I did was hire a real attorney, not some budget guy. I took some of the money I had saved from a side gig and found the best divorce attorney in Dayton. Her name was Lori, and she was sharp as hell. Wore flat shoes, spoke with her eyes narrowed, and didn't waste words. I told her everything. Gave her every document, every photo, every shady screenshot. Her first move? She filed an emergency financial restraining order. That meant Tyler couldn't move any more money, sell anything, or transfer ownership of property without court approval. He didn't see it coming. He thought I'd disappear quietly, just like Dolores told him I would. The sheriff served him the court papers right at Dolores's house. Tara parked 2 blocks away and took a photo of it. I posted that photo online. Did I tag Dolores's address in it?
Yes.
Did I leave a vague caption like, "It's always funny how people who lie think they're safe"? Absolutely. People started talking. Neighbors.
Client.
Old friends. And then, the final blow. I filed a formal claim through my attorney demanding a share of the new company.
Why?
Because they started it with funds and equipment stolen from the original business, which I had invested in. Dolores tried to deny it, said I was just emotional. But Lori brought receipts. Literal ones. Emails from Tyler promising to transfer things to Shayna's name soon so the wife can't touch it. A bank withdrawal signed by Dolores herself. We even found out Shayna had signed some equipment deliveries under my last name before the company was even legit. I sued all 3 of them. Tyler.
Shayna.
Dolores. The court fight lasted almost a year. It was ugly. Dolores tried to play the victim, saying I was ruining the family. Tyler told the judge I was unfit to be involved in any business because I was too emotional. That backfired hard when my attorney read out loud his old texts about getting rid of the dead weight. In the end, the judge ruled I was entitled to 40% of both the old and new companies. Tyler owed me back payment for 8 months of hidden income. Dolores was found guilty of aiding in financial fraud and had to pay restitution.
Shayna?
She was hit with a restraining order and a civil penalty for impersonation. They tried to appeal. They failed. The best part? Their client list, every HVAC contract, dried up.
Why?
Because I sent a polite little letter to every customer explaining how they'd taken money from a grieving daughter and then tried to erase her. Turns out, people don't like supporting thieves. The company tanked. Dolores sold her house. Shayna dumped Tyler 2 months later, took his truck, and moved to Tampa. Tyler now lives in a rental apartment in Fairborn and works as a contractor for half what he used to make. Last I heard, he's still telling people I tricked him.
Sure.
As for me, I walked away with enough money to start my own thing. Small home decor business. Nothing fancy, but I love it. Carla helps me run it. But here's the truth. I should have seen it earlier. I ignored the signs. I let that woman walk all over me for years because I wanted Tyler to love me. I let things slide because I thought that's what marriage was. Compromise. Silence. But silence doesn't save you. It buries you. Dolores hissed. He always comes back to mommy.
Now?
He can stay there. Forever.